Hi, I'm G. Trulia for TST.
And I'm Pierre Respo.
And we're here tonight to show you this TopDon scan tool. So let's go through it. Here's the main screen. You can see we have the intelligent diagnostic. That means where you're going to diagnose. Load diagnostics. Software update. And what's that say? Diagnostic history. Reset. And a personal center.
Wherever data your things you want to save separately.
So let's try this here. So this is connecting to the VCI. We'll try this first to show you what this tool does. And like anything, we're doing it. You hear the car running in the background.
Yeah,
So
we have a, what is it, 2012 Honda CR-V here. And, you know, we're giving the tool a test drive on this car.
yeah. So now it says diagnostic or scan history. We're going to do diagnostic.
And it's got a load, just like any of these tools.
Yep. So you just got to hear what we're saying while this thing loads here. And like anything, it's going to go through and probably look at a bunch of different systems. It's retrieving data. Is that the right
Yeah, and you
VIN?
always make sure that it matches the car.
Yep. 2168 last four
Yeah,
digits
yep,
is what I
that's
always
good.
do.
So we hit OK. And now you have a choice. Health report, a health check, some people call it. System scan, you know, it's an all system scan. Special functions and system selections if you wanted to go into an individual module.
So let's do health report first. Because
Okay.
some people may be interested
So
in
it
that.
asks you a question. This may take some time. Yes or no. We're going to say yes. The engine is not running. The ignition should be on, but the engine should not be running. So they want key on, engine off.
So this is going to be a key on engine off test. So Pierre will be shutting it off. We'll run it again. We'll run it again later. So keys on, engine off. I'll hit OK. And now it's going to scan through and tell us, like here, automatic transmission, program fuel injection. And we will look at all this information. And unfortunately, we don't know the pricing of the tool. TopDon had a representative fly over from China to introduce us to this scan tool that we want to show you. It seems to work quite well.
And just like you out there, we never read manuals. We just turn them on. So we like tools that are intuitive and pretty easy to understand.
Right.
This one seems to be. So far, we haven't used it much.
And in all honesty, limited use on this, and that is no lie, limited use on checking it out. We just did an update tonight to make sure there was no newer software. And you can see we're only in progress. I think that says 13% scan.
Right. So it's going to take a little while.
It's going to take a bit. But this is like every other scan tool. I highly recommend that you go through all the different modules because we could miss something.
Yes.
You know, there may be a drivability problem, Pierre, but maybe there's a problem somewhere else.
Like charging voltage or some other system, data bus CAN problems that are creating
Automatic transmission,
Yeah.
maybe something else like the air condition. You know, we're all in business to make money, right? So when we do a system scan like this, yes, it takes some time. You can go get some coffee or whatever, and we're going to save you some of the agonizing pain, and we will do a cut here and wait for this to go totally through.
He's hired to help him load the truck.
Okay,
but
G.
there you go.
Okay, so we're done. It's through all the testing. We have no faults in, it looks like, all of these systems.
Yep, the entire vehicle.
Now, even though that took roughly, I don't know, about 5-6 minutes, there's nothing there. You can do a fault report if there's any. There's no faults, as you can see. You can go back. You can do a DTC clear, or you can just go back. And we're just going to go back here. And let's do a system scan and see what's going on there.
Which is a similar test, really.
Yeah, looks like it's the same thing.
Same thing.
In progress.
So it's the same kind of thing, but it's deciding whether you're actually equipped with it. The other one was looking for every possible thing in the car.
Right.
this one's saying, yes, I have it, or no, I don't have it, and then looking at it.
Right.
So you're not equipped. Because,
So-
you know, this Honda could have been configured for different countries.
Correct, and it could have a lot more modules depending on the package that you actually ordered on the vehicle. So now, yeah, better? So now you're basically waiting the same amount of time. I'm gonna actually kind of time it, and we will obviously cut it for you, so you don't have to wait the full amount of time that we have to wait. And this is normal of every scan tool out there. It doesn't matter what brand it is. You have to query through the modules, factory tool, aftermarket tools, whatever.
Yeah, actually, most of this is determined by the vehicle manufacturer, and as Jerry was saying, the option package. What they have in the car, what year it is, how fast it reports.
Yep, so we'll get back to you just in a little bit. We're at 36%, and you'll see it in a bit. Okay, we're gonna get back on.
Yep.
So now we're about 80-something, 81%, and we're still scanning, but we're getting there.
And by the way, you can still look through while it's scanning to see what, if any, you know, you can kind of get a preview of what problems are there. Obviously, we already just did this, so we know this does not have any codes.
But we're just gonna see what it does to show you 87, 89, we're getting there, 91, 92, 94.
Now-
So, and if you wanna know how much time it took, I timed it, it looks like about 3.5 minutes.
Right.
You know, but on video, it feels like 25 minutes.
Forever, right.
But
Dog,
it's really
dog
not.
years. So,
So now we can back out of it, Pierre, hit the little,
so
with that button.
there, that back button, okay.
And let's go select systems.
So this is where you'd pick an individual module and look at that only.
Yeah, let's go to the engine. We know it has it, so,
Yeah, it has an engine. We're pretty sure of that. Drove in here.
and we'll start it up. We'll see what you can see, what you can do, graphing.
Live
Or
data,
bits.
bidirectional,
It's
things
gonna
like
ask you again here, please record or print the information. We'll just hit OK. So you could read fault codes. We know there's none.
Right.
You can hit exit. We can go ECM, PCM reset. We're gonna hit cancel. Read freeze frame, which is good. No freeze frame data, no codes. Clear fault, special functions. So here you got write the VIN. Now that's pretty cool. That's sometimes when you get to use module or something, write the VIN. Crank padding clear. Now this is important, by the way. I don't see this on a lot of scan tools. We do this off our Honda factory tool. This is when you had a misfire, yes, a misfire on a vehicle. You need to do this. The crank clear, crank learn, and not every tool has this. So you need to check your tool, but TopDon does have it. You also have throttle learning, which is important. Readiness codes. I'm surprised they put this here, but this is okay.
Because it's an OBD2 function, not so much.
It says
factory.
catalyst is incomplete. Some of these are not complete.
And some are not supported, obviously.
some are
if the
not
system's
supported.
not in the car.
And you can see O2 heater is complete. So some are done and some are not. Okay, so we'll just go back here. And we have shipping mode release. So Pierre knows all about shipping mode when you deal with European cars. And just so you know what shipping mode is, okay, there's certain functions. We're not going to do this here. Please ensure that the gear shift is in neutral and set the park and brake. This is something that you need to do if the car was stuck in shipping mode.
Right. And if you're not sure, check it out. What the shipping mode does is it disables certain things in the car or kind of reprograms them so they won't drain the battery down when it's being transported from the factory.
Right. Nowadays, on a lot of newer cars, this is called load shedding. So they disable stuff that thinking there's a fault, but shipping mode, a lot of stuff is shut off so we don't drain the battery
And
down.
yeah, you could go crazy not knowing that that thing is enabled.
Replace the ECM or PCM, which we're not going to do there either. So there's some of the stuff you can do right there in special functions. How about actuator test?
There you go.
Just so you know, so it has evap test, okay, VTEC test, clutch, fuel pump, But we can do, let's see the injector test. So we're not going to do that, tells you to turn it off. Let's see radiator, fan, all injectors, VTEC. So here's VTEC in. Increase the engine speed. Failure to wait before pressing the accelerator pedal will cause the test to fail. Keep the engine speed above 2,500 RPMs and below 35. See the timing change, and this is timing. Okay, good. VTEC test is now completed. System is normal. So we did a test first there. We're not going to do the exhaust. We just did intake, and you got a whole bunch of other tests. But now what are you going to do? We're going to go out, and Pierre can come out here, leave the car running. We're going to read data stream. We're going to go auto select. Auto select here does a whole bunch of information. And look at this, there's 140 PIDs. We're gonna go okay. It's all there. Let's see what we got. So we got engine coolant temperature. Here's engine speed. If you want to graph it, you could graph it. Okay. You could hit min max. And you can put a number in there if you want. We'll go back out of here. Let's look at, there's the map. There's the map, 0.82 volts. So battery, well, rarely putting much out. There's the
Let's
heater.
look at that battery and see what happens when I rev it.
To go out and manually pick.
Individual PIDs, yeah.
Because it's just way too much. So if we wanted air fuel lambda, heater, air fuel sensor. Let's look at impedance. Let's look at the battery. Crank. Let's see if there's any misfires here. I'll just pick, well, you know what, we'll pick all 4 cylinders. And engine speed.
So now it's just selecting those PIDs. As you know, with scan tools, if you select everything, it has to refresh every single PID before it can start again.
And look at that,
That's why it's so slow.
Shows us in milliamps, and here's our battery.
It's kind of low.
It is kind of low.
You want to do it again? Let me rev it up a little
let's see
bit.
if you race it. Yeah, we're up to 13.4, and we're graphing all of them right here. So we can see 1410, shut the headlights off. Yeah, so it's working. So you could graph it, you could look at the data, and the graphing looks pretty nice. You go swipe it sideways, but the more PIDs you pick on any scan tool, the slower the data is. So you always want to know what you're dealing with. You see how lambda's going up and down? Then if you want to go combine stuff, you can combine stuff. We could look at going backwards here. We can just pick. This should bring us just to the PIDs. So you could graph stuff, I think, even like this. Zoom in, zoom out, not supported. But there's our data. So it's a pretty helpful tool, and this is, again, the TopDon tool. You could, other systems.
And this tool was set up for a lot of brands. It took quite a while to update it earlier, but now that it's up to date, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about it for quite a while.
Let's look at SRS. That's always a problem. Turn the ignition switch off. Yeah, updates are done right over the internet, nice and easy. Turn ignition on. By the way, this is what Honda loves to do. It seems like they're following what the factory wants to do. And you can see if we have, let's see, read data stream. So it has information right there that we can come up with PIDs. If there's any info there that could be helpful, we can go back. We can see system information on side impact sensors. Seatbelt tensioners. Special functions. So you can initialize stuff, get it back. It looks like it has a lot of information in it. You can go to gauge system. And remember, not every vehicle is equipped with everything. I didn't take notice if this had it or not before. But it looks like actuation test, maintenance information. So you could do a reset service or unit replacement for reset. So if you wanted to do something here, it says this function only can be performed when item 3 related parts have been replaced. Well, we're not going to do that because we don't replace anything. So they have a lot of the stuff built in the tool. It does domestic, Asian, and European. We just looked at some of the systems here that we have, like air condition. And I'm randomly picking this. I never did this particular car on here. So Pierre and I have no clue what it did. We're just going to show you what TopDon does. In case you're wondering what the price is, well, so are we. We don't know. We would have to, you can ask us questions. We can send it to TopDon. We do know there's some distributors at our TST big event. We did have the company and the distributor out. So we could see what the price would be if you're interested in this scan tool. Nice big screen, very easy to use. And look at all the stuff here. Honda Smart Key System. If it had night vision, which this one doesn't. Blind spot immobilizer.
It's also got a handy thing where the handle can be flipped up and hung on something, which sometimes you want to do. If you want to have it hanging in front of you, depending on the layout of your shop.
So again, a pretty neat tool here. Do we really want to quit? Yes. It beeps. If you hear the beeping, it beeps to tell you take it out of the vehicle. So we're going to turn the key off, make sure we unplug it, and then we can always go back to scan history to see what the history looks like. If there were any DTCs, see view report. Yeah, Pierre, you want to show them that?
So this is the dongle, not with the extension cable's extra. By the way, I recommend using one of these for any of these types of scan tools so you don't forget to take it out of the car. Regardless of how many warnings there are, after a while we get numb to those noises, right? So it's good to have some kind of an extension cable. So,
yeah.
It's in sight. You can't forget it.
Not a bad idea. Nice vehicle report here. Remember, you can print everything out, save it. Professional report. Really good information here. And if we go back, we can go all the way back to the main screen. Not sure what this local, there's all the different car lines.
Including a lot of car lines that are not sold.
Cherry is over in China. I mean, they have a lot
not sold
of
in the
different
US.
cars. So we got Asian, European. You can do it like this. American brands. You can do European.
Or you can do a VIN search as
right?
well.
Asian, Chinese, or you can reset them all. Or VIN scan is you can scan
and it allows you to just scan it with the camera in the tool.
Yeah. So it's a really good tool. Hopefully you enjoyed our quick look at the TopDon scan tool. My name is G. Trulli, the president of the TST.
And I'm Pierre Respo, and thank you again.
Good night.